December the 2nd, 2025 marked the release of one of the most explosive documentaries in music industry history. 50 Cent, through his production company G-Unit Films, unveiled a four-part series that exposed the rise and fall of Sean Diddy Combs. Today, I'm breaking down everything revealed in this shocking documentary. Stay until the end, because what I'm about to show you will change how you see the music industry forever. What is The Reckoning? First, let's talk about what this documentary actually is. Sean Combs, The Reckoning, is a four-part documentary series that dropped on Netflix on December 2nd, 2025. It was produced by 50 Cent's G-Unit Films in partnership with House of Nonfiction. Now, why 50 Cent? The rivalry between 50 and Diddy isn't new. For years, they've had tensions, and 50 has consistently questioned Diddy's actions publicly. When the allegations against Diddy surfaced, 50 Cent decided to bring this entire story to the world. Here's what makes this documentary unprecedented. It features extensive footage filmed in September 2024, just days before Diddy's arrest. This means the documentary literally captured history as it was unfolding. We're talking interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and revelations that had never been made public before. Building an empire. The first part of the documentary focuses on Diddy's meteoric rise to power. Sean Combs wasn't just a rapper, he was a mogul. From Bad Boy Records to his fashion line Sean John, from his Ciroc vodka partnership to Revolt TV, Diddy built a billion-dollar empire. In the 1990s, when he launched Bad Boy Records, he revolutionized the music industry. The notorious B.I.G., Mace, Faith Evans, these were all part of Diddy's vision. He brought hip-hop into the mainstream and became one of the wealthiest figures in entertainment. But the documentary reveals what was happening behind the scenes of this success. Power, influence, and control became integral parts of Diddy's identity. As his empire grew, so did the allegations. The documentary shows how absolute power began to corrupt absolutely, when it all started unraveling. Now let's talk about the allegations that brought Diddy down. The documentary presents a detailed timeline, 1990s, 2000s. Initial incidents were quietly settled. There were whispers in the industry, but nothing public. November 2023, Cassie Ventura's lawsuit became the turning point. Diddy's ex-girlfriend filed serious allegations including physical abuse, sexual assault, and trafficking. The lawsuit settled within 24 hours, but it opened the floodgates. Early 2024, multiple lawsuits emerged from both women and men. A federal investigation was launched. In March 2024, Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles were raided by federal agents. September 16, 2024, Diddy was arrested on federal charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking. The documentary covers each phase in detail, featuring interviews with people closely involved in the case and legal experts who break down the significance of each development. If you're finding this breakdown valuable and want me to continue making investigative content like this, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Now let's continue with the most disturbing revelations. The dark truth behind the parties. The most controversial revelation in the documentary centered on Diddy's infamous parties. Federal prosecutors revealed that Diddy organized what he called freak-offs, elaborate sexual performances that he orchestrated and frequently recorded. According to the federal indictment, these events were coerced, not consensual. Participants were given drugs to ensure compliance. Sessions lasted multiple days. Diddy controlled every aspect. When federal agents raided his properties in March 2024, they recovered over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants, along with drugs and firearms. This evidence suggested these parties were highly planned and systematic operations. The documentary features survivor interviews describing how they were manipulated, threatened, and controlled. These weren't wild celebrity parties. They were allegedly orchestrated events designed to exploit vulnerable individuals. How federal agents built their case. 50 Cent's documentary clearly illustrates how the federal investigation was built from the ground up. Homeland Security's role. When trafficking allegations became serious, Homeland Security investigations took the lead. This wasn't a local matter. It was a federal-level investigation. The charges: 1. racketeering conspiracy, operating a criminal enterprise. 2. Sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. 3. Transportation for prostitution. Legal experts in the documentary explain why these charges are so severe. Racketeering means prosecutors had to prove Diddy used an entire organization to commit these crimes. Key evidence collected: electronic communications and messages, financial records showing suspicious payments, travel records documenting movements, testimony from multiple victims, physical evidence seized during raids. Diddy was initially held at Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn and was later transferred to FCI Fort Dix in October 2025. Bail was denied multiple times because the court deemed him a flight risk and a potential threat for witness tampering. Voices of the survivors. The most powerful aspect of this documentary is the survivor testimonies. 50 Cent ensured that those who had been silenced for years finally had a platform. Multiple victims described being promised career advancement in exchange for compliance, systematic isolation from friends and family, physical and emotional abuse they endured, threats they received if they attempted to speak out. One particularly heartbreaking testimony came from a woman who explained how Diddy exploited her aspiring music career. She thought she had found a mentor, but the reality was far darker. The documentary also addresses why it took so long for victims to come forward: power dynamics, fear of retaliation, and the very real threat of being blacklisted from the industry. Many victims believed they would never be believed because of Diddy's status and connections. Why 50 Cent made this documentary? So why did 50 Cent make this documentary? Was it just about their rivalry? The documentary addresses this directly. 50 Cent explains that he's witnessed for years how powerful figures in the industry exploit others. When Diddy's allegations became public, he felt this story needed to be told properly, from the victim's perspective. However, yes, 50 Cent and Diddy do have history. They've publicly feuded for years. 50 has consistently questioned Diddy's lifestyle and actions. So this documentary is also a way for 50 to prove his point. Critics have noted this, but 50's argument is that regardless of personal feelings, the truth is the truth. The evidence and testimonies presented in the documentary speak for themselves. Netflix greenlit this project because it represented an important cultural moment: the downfall of a music industry titan in the context of the current Me Too movement and accountability in entertainment. How the music industry responded. When this documentary released in December 2025, the entire entertainment industry reacted. Deafening silence. What was most noticeable was the silence from many quarters. Numerous artists and executives who had worked with Diddy said nothing. This silence speaks volumes. Either they're scared or they were complicit. Support for victims. Some artists and activists openly supported the victims and appreciated that the truth was finally being told. Industry-wide conversations. The documentary sparked discussions about power dynamics in the music industry, how labels protect powerful men, and the urgent need for systemic changes. Legal ramifications. Attorneys predicted the documentary could encourage more victims to come forward and potentially impact Diddy's legal case. Social media exploded with trending hashtags and debates. For the first time, there was a real conversation about accountability in the entertainment industry. Where things stand now. So what's the current situation? The documentary was released in December 2025. Here's where things stand as of January 2026. Diddy's legal status. Transferred to FCI Fort Dix, New Jersey in October 2025. Received a 50-month sentence, approximately 4+ years, on prostitution-related charges. Expected release date is May 2028. Bail has been denied multiple times. Ongoing federal investigation. The federal investigation continues. Authorities are still collecting evidence and exploring possible additional charges. Civil lawsuits. Multiple civil lawsuits from various victims remain pending. These cases could potentially continue for years. Documentary's impact. While 50 Cent has hinted at producing additional content if more information emerges, no official Part 2 has been announced yet. Industry reckoning. Conversations in the music industry continue about power, abuse, and accountability. This documentary has become a catalyst for larger industry-wide discussions about reform and victim protection. The reckoning continues. This has been the complete breakdown of Sean Combs' The Reckoning. This isn't just a documentary, it's a cultural watershed moment. Key takeaways. 1. Power without accountability corrupts. Diddy's story demonstrates what happens when power goes unchecked and influence is abused. 2. Victims deserve to be heard. The most important message is that those who have been harmed deserve to have their voices heard, regardless of how powerful the perpetrator is. 3. Industry accountability matters. The culture of protecting the powerful while silencing victims must change. 4. This is just the beginning. Diddy's legal battle continues, and hopefully, real changes will come to the industry. Final thoughts. This documentary is difficult to watch. It's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. We must face uncomfortable truths if we want real change. 50 Cent, despite his personal motivations, has provided an important service by bringing this story to light. Victims received a platform, evidence was publicly presented, and critical conversations began. Now we'll see whether the industry actually learns from this, or if it becomes just another scandal that people eventually forget. One thing is certain. Sean Combs' legacy has forever changed. The empire he built now lies in ruins. And this reckoning, this moment of accountability, was long overdue. If you found this breakdown valuable, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below with your thoughts on this case. Share this video to keep people informed, and if you want me to create more investigative breakdowns like this, let me know in the comments what topics you'd like me to cover next. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay aware, and always stand with victims.